welcome to Start It Sunday. I'm Rebecca Fenton, the editorial director at ForceBrands. I'm joined once more with Laura Garnett, performance strategist, TEDx speaker. How are you doing, Laura?
I'm great. How are you? It's so good to be back.
I know. It's so wonderful that we're able to continue this discussion. It's gotten such positive feedback from our audience, and we have so many questions still for you.
Love it. Bring them on.
I do want to tease out, we will be doing a special audience participation semi-giveaway where we will be discovering your zone of genius. So what that means is that some lucky person will be able to sit down with Laura virtually and learn exactly what their zone of genius is. So it's perfect for professional development, and we're so excited that you're able to do this for us.
Great. No, I'm super excited. Yes, please. I can't wait.
So as we all know with professional development and what Start It Sunday is all about, it's really empowering you to start the week and really fear no Sunday and take on every Monday. So I do want to just begin quickly with a poll that we took this week about the Sunday scaries because I was actually personally curious, do people still get the Sunday scaries when they're working remotely? And overwhelmingly, the majority, 33%, said yes, but it's not as bad. And 11% of you guys said, yes, it's even worse. So with that, if you are getting the Sunday scaries, it might mean you need to rethink your career and just overall trajectory. So with that, I'm going to dive into some of your toughest career questions you had for Laura. And we'll start, Laura, this one is from Anna in Los Angeles. And she said, I would like suggestions on how to properly word a cover letter and resume when I'm making a career change unrelated to my current or past jobs. I have lots of skills I can use in other jobs, just not a lot of experience yet.
Okay, so Anna. So one thing I would say is I detect a little bit of a negative spin on the fact that you're lacking experience. And what I would say, I would suggest a reframe. First and foremost, now more than ever, organizations are downplaying experience and emphasizing skills and who you are and what you bring to the table, and also confidence. So I would actually think of that from a more positive perspective and talk about in your cover letter what it is that what are the positive aspects of lacking experience in this new industry. For example, you bring a fresh perspective. That can mean innovation. That can also be that you can more easily think out of the box in your new role and for this organization and industry. So I would definitely highlight that. The next thing I would do is identify your zone of genius, which you can do by getting the genius habit, and really specifically talk about your purpose and look at the potential, this new industry, this new organization, look at their mission and purpose, and really be able to connect your own purpose to theirs. And what that does is it allows a potential employer to get a sense of what intrinsically motivates you. You know, people are looking for highly engaged individuals. That's way more important than experience. So if you can connect your story, your why, and your purpose to the organizations in your cover letter, and also the reason this should be linked to why you're making an industry change, that's going to be super attractive to an organization. So I hope that helps, and good luck.
I love it. Find your purpose. It's a lot more difficult to do than it is to say in theory. This next question, Laura, for you is actually one of my favorite questions. I think a lot of people can relate to this. It comes from William D. in Hillsborough Township, New Jersey. If you leave a toxic work environment, how do you best respond to the question, why did you leave your last job?
I love this question. I'm unfortunately, I think it's probably more common than we want to think. But my immediate response is honesty. So the fact that and I'm sorry, William, that you were in a toxic environment, but I actually think this is a great gift, because once you've experienced it, then you know that you have the information to be able to avoid it going forward. So that's why you have to be honest and tell your potential employer that This is the reason you left. And I would even really get specific on what was very toxic about this culture. What were the things that were happening? What were the behaviors? What were the cultural norms? And come to the interview with those specific questions for the person that's interviewing you, and say to them, are you actually experiencing this behavior or this cultural norm in your organization? That's going to be a really powerful tool for you, William, to make sure that you don't repeat that again. And of course, once again, it makes you look very confident and clear, which is really attractive to an organization. So sorry you had to go through that, but congratulations on having the information that can help you avoid it in the future.
Most career obstacles like that are opportunities to learn, right?
Absolutely. And we don't know how long he was in that toxic work culture, but hopefully not long. And next time, if it happens again, you'll be able to see it more quickly and be able to fix it more quickly.
Yes, absolutely. So this next question is actually one that we receive quite often, because we do obviously ForceBrands working in the field of recruiting. We work across several different industries. And this one comes from Laura T in San Marcos, California, another West Coaster. What are some best practices if called for an interview in the food or cannabis industries? Are the questions different from other industries?
So Laura, I love your name. And as far as I know, I don't think there are any specific industry best practices. And what I would say though is that, usually each organization has their own specific way that they interview that's reflective of who they are and their own brand, which you can try to figure out by going to their website. But I thought that I would share my best practices that I think apply to any industry and any organization. So the first one is not going to be surprising. It's identify your zone of genius, which again is your genius, the thinking or problem solving that you're best at, and your purpose, which is the impact in the world that is most meaningful to you. Now, what this does for you in an interview is it allows you to think proactively about who you are is going to be potentially useful in this new job. Look at the job description in detail and come to the interview thinking of projects or opportunities that you want to bring to the table given who you are. You can also, just like I recommended to Anna, look at the mission and the purpose and connect your own purpose and mission to the organizations. That then also allows an organization to see how you're going to be, if you're going to be motivated and how, and you're telling them, which is, really powerful. The other best practice I would say is, be proactive with questions about the culture. You're interviewing the organization just as much as they're interviewing you. So come with a detailed list of questions that are specific to behaviors and cultural norms. The third thing is be honest, be yourself. That's definitely part of being owning your zone of genius. But there's a norm out there that says you should be, try to sell yourself and become who you think the organization wants to hire. And that is only going to lead you down the path of getting a job that's not right for you. So I would do the opposite of that, be honest. And also, the other thing about that is that if you are in the interview and you're actually really drawn to the culture, but you're discovering that the role itself isn't a great fit, I would be honest about that as well. Say, hey, I'm really clear that I may not be the perfect fit for this role, but I'm really loving what you're saying about the organization and the culture. Are there other opportunities for me here based on that? And if the interview is going really well, that also, that ability to call that out expresses confidence and clarity, and an organization wants that as well. So know your zone of genius, be proactive with it, be honest, and be yourself.
Love it. Zone of genius is certainly a key, I think, that's the narrative through all of the answers to these questions. Which is really just another way of saying,
be who you are. I feel like the zone of genius, obviously it's help, you have to go buy the book in order to see this, but to me, this is kind of a very quick way to get deep insight into yourself. And with a job search, with a career, you have to be connected to who you are. Being who you are is a critical component to great success. And that's why that framework is a helpful tool to kind of fast track that.
I love it. Well, you guys will have the opportunity to find your zone of genius. So we will be selecting someone. Stay tuned for more details. We're going to provide you with them. And in the next few weeks, we will hopefully be selecting one lucky person to sit down with Laura virtually for Started Sunday.